Hi, my name is Taylor McGaughey. I'm a territory account manager for Industrial Networking Solutions. I've been with the company for about a year now, but I support the North Texas market along with East Texas and Northern Louisiana. So INS has been supporting one of the largest railroads for many years. I came on about a year ago and very quickly learned that INS is a trusted advisor for this particular customer. Technology has changed so much in such a short period of time that it opens up opportunities to evaluate and assess if the way they've been doing things in the past is necessarily the right way to do things in the future. And so they will quite frequently reach out to INS and spitball some ideas off of us and say, hey, in this particular application, can we look, instead of using this technology, can we actually look at this technology? And how do we proof case that out? How can we test it? How can we show that it's a better solution than what we're currently using? So they came to us and said, hey, we would like to look at trackside on some applications on the actual locomotives themselves, but not only incorporating your traditional networking, but also cellular and satellite. How do we bring that data from the field back into the actual operations center, their corporate office? So we've incorporated multiple manufacturers, some of the main manufacturers being Semtech, Ericsson, Starlink, and many others that can help us to really reach a particular goal that this customer has. So this particular customer came to INS and asked for guidance for an application for mobile equipment to ride along the track. And while that particular piece of equipment is on the track, the actual network, they know that a train cannot travel down that piece of track. And that's where Semtech came into play, where they could install this on the piece of equipment, and they know exactly where it is, and they can communicate constantly with everything else that's within a certain radius, so that there's no collisions, there's no possibility of injury. So it's that constant monitoring and safety that really led the way for Semtech on this particular project. Over the next several years, they'll be implementing hundreds of these devices until they completely retro their fleet. So we actually recommended the Semtech RX55 to be used in each of these pieces of equipment. So moving forward over the next several years, they'll be implementing these devices into the equipment so they can monitor and assess where all the equipment is on the track to make sure there aren't any collisions or any risk of injury. So the security piece is really important for them as well, but visibility was critical in this application. And the RX55 is a fantastic hardening device that no matter what you put it on, will be able to survive in a harsh environment or even in the cab of a vehicle. Currently, because the evolution of technology, they're constantly exploring new ways to do things, like I had mentioned before. But for them, it's looking outside of the box. It's saying, hey, this is our use case, and it could be one technology, it could be multiple technology. How can we do this better, safer, and a little bit more cost effective? But one of the major things that keeps coming up is future proof. Because of the evolution of 4G and 5G and that eventual transition, it's what manufacturer offers the best path moving forward. And the great news is that multiple manufacturers that we work with all can support this particular rail customer moving forward. But it's a constant conversation about how can we do this different, and how can we do it to better serve the industry, to make it safer. But just as important is how can we do it so it's easier for everyone to be able to work on and program, and then again, going back to future proofing. This customer relies on INS not just for hardware, not just to be able to supply them with product, but also on our service side, our pre and post sales. So when they have a question about a product and they think it might be a good option, they reach out to us and say, hey, let's compare these. And so our pre-sale will step in and help them and show them the features and benefits of each and which one might be a better option for them. On the post-sale side, if they have any challenges, and it could be licensing where the license just didn't get applied to that particular device, or it could be something where the actual device has failed. We typically are the first call because the manufacturers, as great of a relationship as we have with all the different manufacturers, they don't have the manpower like we do. We have engineers that are sitting in our corporate office that are ready for those phone calls when they come in. And because, again, the relationship, we can escalate and we can get replacements out very quick. So, again, they look at us not only as a supplier, but also the post-sale side of it. How can INS support that customer, make their job even easier? So INS is filling the gap between the end user and the manufacturer. That's our biggest piece of the pie.